Welcome, everyone, to the Five-Hole Fantasy Hockey Podcast. We are the fantasy hockey podcast that is not part owner of a minor league hockey team. Sorry, guys, financials just not there right now.
Yeah, we couldn't afford Zach Hyman.
Not even that. I mean, you got Merrick talking about the Savannah Ghost Pirates. Someone just bought, the Spit and Chicklets guys just bought part ownership of the Greensboro Gargoyles.
I'm not losing my mind. Zach Hyman did buy
OHL.
OHL.
OHL. That's why I had to change my intro tag. But yeah, we're your hosts tonight, TJ and Alan. What's going on, TJ? It's weird having you in the driver's seat.
I know.
Me driving.
No, it's fun. I'm on the other side of the mirror tonight. So we agreed, Alan and I, before we went on, that things would just be more efficient if he did the driving, because I can get a little off base and already one bourbon in. So before I get too long-winded, why don't you take it back from me, Alan?
Yeah. So before we get going here, again, guys, if you're watching us on YouTube, we appreciate it. Make sure to like and subscribe. We're trying to reach that 1,000 subscriber count. Unlock some options for us. As always, there's the Discord. Have about 2,700 fantasy hockey connoisseurs jamming out in there, and follow us on Twitter. And as always, there's the website FHFhockey.com. TJ is cooking, and it's not meth, on some tools for us there. So we'll get into news, storylines. John Klingberg, yes, that John Klingberg human pylon is looking to resume his NHL career. Maybe some fantasy relevance there, depending on where he ends up. But some of the teams linked to him, I don't like it. Toronto, Vancouver, Edmonton. I saw Ottawa, Dallas today, Colorado. I don't know. I can't think of a spot where.
Dallas, huh? Yeah. If only it had taken that $55 million when they offered it. This is one thing, and as we get into the fantasy hockey trade deadline and the actual NHL deadline, like the teams that are shopping or have been rumored for Klingberg, think about, I guess Toronto might need like a power play one, but they've been there and done that, right? Like with Klingberg especially, but I guess that was a Keefe team. But Vancouver, you got Quinn Hughes. Edmonton, you got Bouchard. And then, I want to carry this over to the trade deadline. Everybody gets so horny for these like moves and stuff, and you got to think about the teams that are buyers at the trade deadline, right? Like they have there's a reason they're buyers. It's because they're a good team, and they have a top six that's ready to go. They have a top power play that's probably solidified. They have a number one goalie. So it's just like when guys move to teams that are buyers, think about Blake Coleman, right? Remember that year that he got traded from Jersey to Tampa? I mean, you're a Tampa fan. You remember that? Yeah.
That third line was sweet, but that was all depth.
IRL, but in fantasy, like Blake Coleman, his production, I mean, halved would put it shortly, right? Like that was bad for his value. So I just want to remind guys that are on the rumor board or the trade board for NHL or Daily Faceoff, wherever it is, like think about their actual trade value. And maybe it's a good idea to like get off of some of these guys. Klingberg right now, like fuck, if you're in a dynasty league or any league, throw him in IR. I don't care. Like if you go somewhere, it's
or
wouldn't
it be NA till he signs something?
Yeah, I think if you got an IR plus, maybe it would work.
Maybe. Yeah. But next note we got here, Levi Merilainen gets 3 starts in a row, I think it's up to 2 shutties now, or is that not part of the 3?
No, I think you're actually right. Like he's been crushing it. He did shut out on I think the second half of a back-to-back. He played both halves, which was kind of crazy. Did he post back-to-back shutouts? I think so, because I remember I saw some sassy Instagram posts from the Senators that like they have the most shutouts. Yeah, 2 shutouts in his last 3 games for Merilainen. Shutting out the Islanders, don't pat
big whoop
too hard. Yeah. And also Pittsburgh. So, I mean, it's not bad. He beat Dallas 3 starts in a row. So Anton Forsberg pretty much like.
No, they can't. They don't want to send him down yet. But I imagine once Ullmark comes back, they'll send Forsberg down.
Do you think it gets fuzzy at all, like between Merilainen and Ullmark? Are they?
Well, I think we had a mailbag question about that a little later, but no, I don't think it's so much. Ullmark, definitely the starter, but I could see them maybe load manage him a little bit. Maybe Merilainen gets 1 of 3, 1 of 4 starts, just to start. Ullmark's the starter, but you don't want him to get injured again.
Man, him and Jakob Dobesh just coming out of nowhere too, right? Like both these guys lighting it up to start. We'll see what happens there. Should we start taking bets like which one falls off first?
Small sample size, guys. Small sample size. Next up, the Red Wings dominance under McClellan. What are they? I think 7-3 in their last 10, but I think that was a streak.
Oh yeah, so they lost their first game against the Maple Leafs under McClellan, and I don't think they've lost since. I've been following this one.
Maybe that's what it is.
The Eastern Edge, and for I just finished working on the midseason guide for Dauber, and Detroit was one of them. I was like, they're dominating under McClellan right now. Like not just offensively, but their defense has gotten better too. They're giving up less goals. They're scoring more. I think it was all 5 of like each member of the top unit is inside the top 25 in scoring since McClellan took over. Patrick Kane's, I think, at the top of the league.
Oh God, yeah. If someone dropped Kane in your league around Christmas time and you picked him up, like you're loving life.
Oh yeah. So I mean, everybody's crushing it. I don't have the most up to date stats. I remember when it was 8 games and they were 7-1 under McClellan. They were all point per game too. So like Mart Sider and up, DeBrincat, Raymond, Larkin, Patrick Kane, all point per game or better under McClellan. They've just been turning it around something fierce. So great stuff there. It's been a weird. Maddie and I have been talking about this a lot.
Now I've heard part of that could be their schedule during that streak. So we'll see. Like as they
has it been like a weak opponent load for them?
Yeah, not like. I don't know, but they have a tougher schedule coming up soon, so we'll see if that holds.
Alex Lyon's coming back; they'll be fine.
There we go. But yeah, next up here, Tristan Jarry on waivers. It really the vibe I got from all the announcements today was like they're just like you done, you fired, get out of here. So obviously, I think it's Joel Blomqvist getting called up, but I don't know if I'd rush to get him, though. I was looking at his stats. In 8 games this season, he has only 3 wins with a .904 save percentage, which, hey, that's league average. They could get league average goaltending, which they were not getting with Jarry. I still think maybe, I don't know. Maybe they run some kind of tandem, see if one of them kind of takes it. But
yeah, I don't know. His stats haven't been great either. So tandem where like you pit them against each other in kind of a way, and then whoever winds up with it, gets it. They did kind of soft launch this one when they sent him down to Hershey earlier this year, and now they're just like straight up done. I figured maybe there were some rumors out there like Jarry for Gibson straight up, but I guess even Anaheim's not interested. We were joking in the Discord that Columbus, all they need is a goalie. And the overwhelming response was, they're not going to find one in Tristan Jarry. So I don't know. Maybe he gets claimed. Somebody might take a chance on him and then waive. But 3-4 years left at
that buyout was looking a little expensive too.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one. So,
next up, Hershey. Colorado, man. Oof, they had to shake up lines last night against Rangers. There we go. Middlestat, victim of that, was centering 4th line. And even in today's practice, looks like Middlestat 4th line again, but that top line would have been Lehkonen, McKinnon, Drouin. I don't know why they want to make Drouin work, but they do. And then, that second line, Kiviranta, Rantanen, Logan O'Connor. Again, real quick, man, without Nichushkin, they look shallow again.
I was going to say, this team got pretty bad all of a sudden, but it is just one name that's missing, I guess. Rantanen at center and Drouin at wing, like those are 2. The fetch isn't just going to work, Gretchen. Like it's not going to happen. Casey Middlestat's been pretty bad. If you haven't dropped him already, you should. That's a death blow, right? So
especially if that sticks. Good God, because I saw the tweet. I think his first shift wasn't till like 5 minutes in.
Oh God, yeah. 8 points in his last 25. You really should have definitely gotten rid of it.
And then last one here, we got JT Miller lost was bounced from power play 1 by Lekkerimäki.
Yeah, I guess it was like I think they were chasing a game too and just trying to get something to work.
That's right, because that was where they got beat up by Winnipeg.
Yeah, pretty quickly, like by Kyle Connor almost exclusively. Fantastic game for him. I think he had a
hat trick in the first period.
Yeah.
KFC, man.
He really made it happen. JT Miller, he just intermittently lost power play 1. It's worth noting, just, with everything that's going on between, I don't know if the rumors between him and Elias Pettersson are bullshit. We just saw David Pastrnak and Brad Marchand bullshit come out. So
and now they're best friends.
I don't know if there's anything there, but if he's losing power play 1 to Lekaramaki, then maybe
it's injury related. Maybe it's coaching decision. But moving into injuries, Sean Monahan looks like he will wear a wrist brace for 2 weeks, and then the team will reevaluate. I don't know. I think Jay and I talked about it last week. We're not, maybe not this week, run out and grab Adam Fantilli, but I think Columbus is one of the guys with 4 games next week. I mean, Fantilli looks like he's popping off there with Marchenko and Voronkov.
That line and just that offense in general is something. I have it here for the Emil Heineman a little bit, but like if you look over the last month, Columbus, Detroit, Montreal, St. Louis, just at the top of the league in scoring. And then you got Winnipeg, Colorado, Edmonton, like teams you expect to see there.
Right.
But think about it, like Detroit and Columbus, I think, are tied for first in power play. They both have a 50% power play right now. If Fantilli's out, basically the TLDR is like if Fantilli's out there, you just got to ride that line because something is in the water in the offense. Like they're good at it.
It was Laine spitting heat on him. That's what got Columbus going. And then Valerie Nichushkin, who we were just talking about, is maybe next week, according to Bednar. I mean, I feel like you got to just hold him in IR. That's a guy you don't let go of.
Yeah.
Charlie McAvoy, not James McAvoy, to IR. Mason Lohrei has already been seeing some significant power play one time. I feel like this is only because Hampus Lindholm is out. I mean, I think this week their schedule sucked, but I mean, are we excited about Boston's power play right now? I think they they were on a losing streak until the Marchand Pasta thing came out, and now that galvanized them.
I don't know if they've really like turned it around. They're pretty bad in 2025. I think they won their last game, so maybe they're at like 500, but something's in the water there. Like Boston, I almost feel like outside of Pastrnak alone, and I'm including McAvoy in this, like I really don't want much of anything in Boston. Speaking from like 12 team leagues, I think Marchand, provides some bottom of the roster value, but McAvoy, like he is so hard to roster right now. If it weren't for the price tag, 4 months ago that you paid, that's really holding on to it. I think you got to rip the Band-Aid off because there's not much there. Like if there are better players on your waiver wire, I don't know, just make your team beir. Don't think about draft day.
No, 100%. I don't think Lohrei is the answer there.
Right.
Next up, Kirill Kaprizov. I don't know. He's doing weird things with his skates. Like I don't think he traveled to team on this road trip. I don't know if you have anything, TJ, but it sounds like he's close, but just not there.
It's been sounding like he's close for a little bit now. I don't know. It was just like in the Heinz had a presser, and he was just really. He didn't give an answer. He gave like a very political answer.
The best.
I don't know. Yeah. So we really don't like have a concrete update on when Kaprizov's coming back, but they need some people to start coming back because everybody's
especially on that blue line
down to Gustafsson. Yeah, Gustafsson's really suffering right now. So they need to heal up.
Yeah, and then next up, Charlie Lindgren was on the ice today. He's eligible to come off IR on Saturday, which would be great. That tandem has just been insane for Washington this year. Solid. I think I saw it was like Logan Thompson is 18 of 22.
Yeah, so I think of the 46 points that were available to the Washington Capitals while he's been in net, I think 39 of them he's secured for them. So he's 2 losses and I think 3 overtime losses.
Yeah,
he's only played in back-to-back games twice, and the second time is because Lindgren's out. The first time he lost. So it's been the most like even split. If you look at their game logs on Frozen Tools, it's X checkmark, X checkmark. Every other game they're switching. It's the most even 50-50 split you can get out there.
Gotcha. Yeah, man. Spencer Carberry for Jack Adams. Next up, Thomas Chabot, the Sens took an Adam Pelech shot to the face. I mean, I don't know. I guess Chabot would have more relevance for Bangs leagues, but
yeah,
I mean,
there wasn't much of an update after that. They just kind of said, hey, he got hit in the puck with the face and we'll let you know. And then they just didn't let us know. Yeah. Took a puck in the visor in the first period, did not return for the third period. So that was it.
Oh man. Man, you added a lot more in the notes here. Emil Heineman struck by, oh yeah, that's right. He was hit by a car.
Second car accident.
In like a cup in as many days.
Yeah. And then I mean Malkin's getting robbed and like it's just such a weird hockey news week, you know.
Yeah, they're saying he's out 3-4 weeks. In Montreal, another team just on fire in the mix now suddenly.
So Laine's spitting fire and then he's backing it up too. So it's a weird race. Yeah, Columbus, Detroit, Montreal, St. Louis at the top of the scoring right now. It's very weird.
Yeah, next up, yes, I did see this one. Hopefully the amulet power brings him speedy recovery. John Tavares was hurt at practice, still being evaluated. Guesses were a groin injury. We'll see. Then Alex Lyon, hopefully some point on the road trip. They need him. Ville Husso still not in NHL goaltender.
I put this one in the wrong section. So this should have been in the storylines about Dawson Mercer taking power play 1. So gotcha. I think Hischier was in the box after he fought tried to fight Tkachuk after a weird hit. So Hischier was in the box, but so was Tkachuk, and Tkachuk was assessed a double minor. So Jersey was on the power play, but Hischier was in the box. Everybody expected to see Timo Meier out there, but it was Dawson Mercer, and all my homies hate Dawson Mercer right now. I don't know what's going on with Timo. God just
hockey terrorist Sheldon Keefe.
Yeah.
And even Stefan Nason out. You'd think like, hey, well, at that point it's Timo time, but no.
Yeah. Tomas Tatar moved up in the lineup.
What
Nico now?
The heck? Like that guy's bounced around to how many teams in the last few years and just doesn't make anything stick.
I feel like what's your temperature on Timo Meier right now? Like this is definitely an off-season conversation, but we've like him and Svechnikov are two players that we just consistently are let down by. And then every offseason, the entire fantasy community forgives that player and then decides that, next year is the year. And it's been like that for 5 years.
No, this is definitely going in the draft this year. I'm like, I'm going to let other people draft Timo Meier. Like, I am fully committed to, like, he is not Sharks Timo Meier.
Yeah.
So
that was the outlier.
We don't know. I'll let someone else fall on that sword for me. But a couple of returns. Yeah. Philip Hronek returned just in time to watch his team get blown up by Winnipeg. I don't know. Depending on how deep your league is, Hronek's somewhat fantasy relevant. He does play in the pairing with Hughes, so bump into the occasional assist.
There was a fun question. I think it was on Twitter. Somebody asked Hronek or I think it was Forsling rest of the season, and the stats were pretty close, but Forsling doesn't see nearly enough power play time to really make that like flip the switch, and they were just so similar in the rest. But anyway, then I got another question: Hronek or Fowler rest of the season? Which would you prefer?
Fowler?
Yeah. It was a points league too, so that it just makes sense.
And then John Marino for the Utah Hockey Club came back. I don't know much relevance for. I don't think there's much relevance there for points leagues. Does he give riffs?
Good for the goalies. He's a fantastic defensive defenseman. So good for the goalies.
And that sounded like oh my god, what's his face?
Ingram,
is still a few weeks out. Not Ingram. The defenseman.
Oh, Dursey. Yeah.
Dursey. Dursey still a couple weeks out. I think we mentioned Connor Ingram coming back, which is good. It still seems like Vejmelka's got the hold, but maybe they'll work Ingram in. But with that,
You've got mail.
Mailbag.
Let's hit the mailbag. So first one up here. Actually, after these, I'll hit a couple from the chat up earlier there. But first one up, Swiss Cheese, 12-team head-to-head Cats redraft, goal assist plus minus, pim shots, hits, blocks. Where are we at with Line? Should he be rostered despite 5-on-5 concerns?
Nope.
No.
Oh, should we be?
Oh, you have no concerns, or should he be rostered?
No concerns. Yes, I should very much specify. Power play points and goals are extremely hard to come by. That's all he does. He's covering 2 categories, and he's shooting a bunch. I don't know. Those are 3 categories that he's going to give you. Just got his first even strength goal the other game, so he's going to be money.
For me, it is yes, yeah. The goals, you want them. Who cares? If you feel like that's not sustainable, it's probably not. But trade them. But otherwise, big perk to me is weeks 23 through 25. If you play to the end of the season, Montreal does have one of the better playoff schedules. So even with unsustainability in mind, like I'm trying to poke around some Montreal players, trying to upgrade schedule strength. And Line Ace seems like the low hanging fruit to me.
Yeah, I think Caulfield draws most of the marquee, like
Suzuki.
Susie too. I don't know, this Heineman kid, and I feel like Lane Hudson's got a lot of buzz about him too. So
yes,
Montreal players might be hard to get.
Right now,
all 4 of those guys. I mean, I guess Slafkovsky, he's on a half point per game pace or something like that. So do you think he might be somebody you could find on the waiver wire that you'd hold through those? Like that seems.
I know in the tier, the listener league I'm in, I know he was in free agency for a while, but I was too slow to get him. But now it's just like, I feel like that person picked him up knowing what they hold. So you might be able to get him cheap if someone just never dropped him, has held him this whole season.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully some gem comes out that helps us out from the waiver.
There we go.
We'll see.
Yeah, because otherwise, you got Kirby Doc out there. I don't know.
Ugh.
But DJ68 in Discord, is Florida broken? He was asking how long you should wait for Bennett and Ekblad to start producing again, but it was pretty resoundingly like drop Ekblad or drop Bennett in a 10-team. And then
that's a 10-teamer.
Yeah, Bennett. Oh, yeah. I agree. In a 10-team, I think Bennett is waiver wire or a stream if Florida has a good schedule that week. And then he was kind of following up trade Paterka for Hagee. Is Florida broken? I don't know. So what I'm hearing out there is the same thing I heard with Tampa fandom. The 3rd straight year we went to the finals. Like, they don't care about the regular season anymore. They're limp dicking it. Like, no, I don't think they just do that. Yeah. I think it is fatigue setting in. So are they broken? Probably not. It's just deep playoff runs take your toll after a while.
Yeah.
But I think Ekblad I think that was an injury he's out for. I thought it was illness.
So he's on injury. It's funny. So there are 3 guys in particular who right around like mid-December just stopped scoring. Sam Bennett's one of them. Connor McMichael, Martin Nietzsche are the other 2. Nietzsche has kind of turned it around over the last couple games to a degree. He's like 1 per game, I think, over his last 5. But you look back like 25 games and Nietzsche starts to look a little paler. Bennett you want to guess how many points he has since December 10th?
Oh my God.
16 games.
2?
Yeah, actually right on the fucking dot. Yeah, 2. They're both at even strength. He's shooting 0%, obviously 2 assists, but 37 shots. So like 2-ish shots a game, a little bit over 2. And before that, I think the shot volume was, the game where he kind of disappeared, he had 4 shots, and the 27 games before that, he had like almost 25 more shots. So he's not shooting as much. I don't know why. And that's going to be one of those chicken or the egg thing. Like, is he not scoring because he's not shooting, or is he not shooting because he's not scoring? So you're going to have to wait. Florida in general, are they broken? I don't think so. Over the last month, they've played 15 games. They are hanging out with some shit bricks down at the bottom with like Anaheim, and they actually have scored less per game than the New York Islanders. So you might be onto something here, but I don't think I'd feel okay signing off on saying they're broken, but I do feel okay signing off on saying guys like Ekblad, Bennett, Rodriguez, especially. Verhaeghe would probably be where the fence is, but I think anyone below Verhaeghe is easily waiver wire.
Well, and Verhaeghe, I was looking at today, his shooting percentage is just, I don't want to say abysmally low, but significantly low compared to his career. Maybe, I don't know. I think it was like 9% versus his career of like 11, 12.
He's been a pretty lethal shooter over the last few years. Most of his career. So 15, 16, 14, 13, 13. And yeah, this year it's like, he looks like a defenseman.
But I mean, Ekblad, as long as when he comes back, if he maintains power play 1, I feel like those guys don't grow on trees. You might just have to sit through it. But
well, they might in Florida. They've had 4 power play 1 defensemen through half of the season. 9 games for Adam Boquist. I think Uvis Balinkas had 6 or 10 or whatever, and then Ekblad had 20. So he does seem like the best fit.
But Bennett,
I'm there.
And the team's even shown that if Barkov goes down, they're happy to put Lundell top line. Yeah. Just Bennett kicking the curb. But trade Peterka for Verhaeghe. And I hate to keep making this like the factor on a trade, but Buffalo does have one of I think it's best in terms of games played in weeks 23 through 25. So that alone makes me say maybe hang on to Peterka.
Yeah, I feel like Peterka and Verhaeghe are kind of both in that like.
In a 10 team, they're probably in that fringe.
Oh, we're talking. This is a 10 team. So yeah.
Yes.
I keep forgetting. Yeah, so Ekblad might be. I don't know where he's at, but Peterka and Verhaeghe to me this year are kind of in the same boom or bust kind of gamble pot, if that makes any sense. Like I think they could both go off. But yeah, if DJ68, go to Frozen Tools, the schedule planner, put your playoffs in, and if that helps you make a decision, then I think you should follow your heart on that one. But if you're asking for who's probably going to be better rest of the season, I think it's anybody's guess. I like Florida's offense better than I like Buffalo's. So I think if I had to put money on it, it'd be Verhaeghe. But if you can get, 3 extra games and 2 extra off nights out of Peterka, it might swing your fantasy weeks.
Right. Then El Benham on Discord, Miralainen or Dorofeyev are 2 young players that have been hot lately. Do we expect them to keep this up? If not, but even if not to the same extent, are they worth a pickup right now, or should take a flyer, keep an eye on them, see how they perform? Miralainen, goalies are voodoo guys. Like sample size of what, 3 so far?
3 games.
Yeah,
in the NHL.
Yeah, and but Dorofeyev, I think, depending on how deep your league is, I feel like he is if Vegas has a great schedule and they're rolling, yes, you want him.
Yeah.
But
I'll tell you what. So
goalies,
I'm right there with you on Miralainen. Like him and Dobesh are, to me, the exact same player right now. Like they're gonna blow up on you. Like you did not find the next Carey Price. You did not find the next, Connor Hellebuck. It's just a hot streak, and a hot streak of 3 games. If Tristan Jarry had 3 good games, would you be going out and getting him? No. Right. So just put a different name behind it. It's a new guy, shiny toy. What I will tell you on Dorofeyev is I have Hurdle, and Hurdle does this to me all the time. I bring up Hurdle because Dorofeyev's on the same line. Hurdle will go quiet for 4 games, and then he'll throw 2 2-point games in a row at you, and you'll be like, fuck, I got to keep this guy. And then he'll go quiet for another 4 games. So I imagine Dorofeyev probably cashed in on some of that Hurdle explosiveness that he's put out this week and could go quiet. But Dorofeyev is going to be a lot easier to trend out. Just watch the deployment. If he slips into the bottom 6, that's when it's okay to cut bait. But anybody inside that top 6 in Vegas is worth holding on to.
And it looks like, at least as far as power play, it looks like Dorofeyev and Olofsson are kind of duking it out right now. Mm-hmm. See which one sticks. So, Miralainen. And again, as soon as Ullmark comes back, he's not going to get the same level of starts he was before.
Yeah. So that one's, that's got an expiration date already.
Yeah. And then D-Stu, who to drop between Norris and Holloway in a 10-team points banger. He's pointing out very similar playoff schedules. Norris is pure C. Holloway is center left wing. He could also drop a D in Anderson, Rasmus Anderson, Fowler, and Lacombe, but then he's benching forwards all the time.
This one's an easy choice for me. I want to see where you land, though.
Because I looked, they're both on very similar point paces. I'm kind of thinking if I have to drop one of those forwards, Holloway's kind of the drop for me in bangs. But really, I kind of think Rasmus Anderson is very fantasy irrelevant.
So I'm a Holloway,
especially in 10 team.
I'm a Holloway keeper. Over the last month, he's inside the top 50 in scoring, just behind Brandon Hagel. And everybody knows how hot Hagel's been. There's been no love for Brandon Holloway, for Dylan Holloway, sorry. Since Montgomery took over, Holloway and Rob Thomas are on the same point pace. So if you like Rob Thomas, you're probably going to like Dylan Holloway. Yes, the hits might not be there for you. And the power play points, he's only got 3 over the last month, which means 14 games. But points are hard to come by. They're the hardest thing to find on the waiver wire in bang leagues. So I think for me, like, I'm keeping Holloway. I'm getting rid of Norris. The center only is just
that. Yeah,
thing.
It makes sense. Yeah,
St. Louis has been red hot. I think they are top of the league in scoring over the last month.
They were in that list of teams you pointed out.
They're on fire, and I think it's another reason here that I don't want to drop a D. Number one, you're benching forwards, which is not good. Like, active players on your bench, that's not going to help you at all. And Norris, I think over the course of the last month, he's slowed down. He had a scorching hot start relative to where he's at, that I think is carrying a lot of his point pace. So he's been slowing down. Pure C versus center left wing. I think everything kind of leans Holloway, and I definitely want to keep a D, especially if it keeps people from putting points on your bench. Yeah.
And then last one from Discord from AA Ronk wants to talk about Natchez. Like I pointed out in the Discord, obviously his point pace has slowed down. He's not on like a wild 120 point pace. It's like 93, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not dead right now. I mean, he was dead for a minute there, but I feel like he's heating back up. But I still feel like he's got a little bit more room to regress.
There are 2 things to consider. First is who asked this question? D-Stu? Or no, this one's Aaron K. Aaron K. Yeah. First thing that we need to establish is that what we saw in the first 28 games or 30 games or whatever it was, that's not a real person. That wasn't a real person. That's not Martin Necas. That's not what he's not going to put up 140 point pace out of nowhere. He is one of the best players on the Carolina Hurricanes, if not the best player. He put up 44 points in 30 games. Jesus Christ. So first, what happened was a self-correction. He went 6 or 7 games pointless, and right around the middle of December, he just turned into the guy that you drafted. You had found money for most of the beginning of the season, and now he's just back to where he is, which might be a 75 with an 85 point ceiling. And that, I think, is still something worth to be happy about. So all the sell high, pitches might have been truth, but we're still going to see. Like, obviously it's in the tank. One thing to consider is Necas was getting a lot of his production done on the power play, and the Carolina power play is just not where it was. Gostisbehere is not there. They're switching between Ty Smith, who got waived, and now it's Brent Burns, who's actually doing pretty good. So that power play needs to start clicking. Again, chicken or the egg. Is the power play not clicking because Martin Necas isn't factoring in, or is Martin Necas not putting up the points because the power play is not clicking? So it's redundant. It's recursive. It's like saying, I was listening to something today. I was like, it was about, I think it was the DFO guys, and they were like, yeah, Draisaitl is, he's on the lowest power play goal pace of his season. So as soon as that power play gets going, he'll be back. I'm like, well, part of that power play going is going to be him scoring power. So I don't know. It's just like one of those, it kind of answers itself. And I think that's, so yes and no. Necas, I think, what's more believable, right? 44 points in 30 games or 6 points in 14 games with a 6 game pointless streak in there. That's really weighing down those stats. So We're really looking at 6 points in his last 8, which I think is a lot more niche than,
and still pretty good. Because I mean, I don't know. One spot I took him 12th round. I'm like, yeah, like a point per game-ish pace guy in the 12th round. Sweet.
Yeah. So you got Kucherov for the first 30 games, and now you have Martin Niches. So I think you should just be okay with that.
Yeah. And then last one here, Armin on Twitter. How many D and goalies would you roster in a standard league with 6 forwards, 1 utility, 4 D, 2 goalies, 3 bench?
Ouch, this one's missing some context.
Okay.
And I think we should just assume that there's 3 minimum goalie starts. That I think is the only context that's missing. Yeah, that bench is pretty short, eh?
Yeah. Because I mean, normally I like to hold like 1 extra defenseman, goalie, especially goalie, because it's especially they don't play all 82 games.
Yeah.
So even on the busy nights, one of them could, technically all 3 of them might be playing, but one of them might not be starting.
So with 3 bench, there's not going to be any extra D for me, at least. Like your 4D are just going to stay in those roster spots for the rest of the year. That's it.
Agreed.
I have 5 bench, and both of my goalies, and this is going to be another contextual thing that I wish we would have got. Armin, if you're here in the chat, feel free to chime in. I have 2 volume goalies, so I always hit my 3 minimum. I have Olmark and I have Binnington. So I can speak to not having an extra goalie when Olmark was healthy. After Olmark went down, I am streaming Vladars and whoever else. And over these last few weeks, while Olmark's been out, I'm rostering 3 goalies or 1, depending on what part of the week it is, if I need starts or not. So that's with 5 bench. I think with 3 bench, if you have 2 volume goalies, I'm not rostering another goalie, and I'm just floating 3 skaters, so 3 forwards in and out, because you have 6 forward spots and a util. So for me, all 3 bench would be skaters.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. In the context of that league, I don't want to hold extra D or goalie.
Oh, Armin is here. He's got another question. Should he trade Kent Johnson for Fowler? So Armin, if you have the answer to that one, do you have minimum goalie starts, and who are your goalies? But while that's going on, would you trade Kent Johnson for Fowler and Cupful? Defensemen do get some. I think they get some buffs in Cupful. I think blocks are pretty juiced. I can't remember exactly what their scoring is. But Fowler's not. Is he a perif guy? I thought he was always kind of like points or nothing. But I haven't really trended his perfs out in St. Louis.
Well, shit. Let me pull that up.
I know he's scoring.
Top of my head, he's pretty steady.
Yeah,
but not like 4, 5, 4, 3.
Yeah, it's
like
2, 0, 1, 4, 3.
Yeah.
His blocks. He's all right. Looks like he gets right around 1.5 per game typically. But keep in mind that Fowler is currently benefiting from the hot streak that St. Louis is on. I don't know if that's going to be a season-long thing for them. We've seen it before with Berube. They go on to win the cup and everything, but it's a different team. Stranger things have happened. That's all I'm
Looks like he's a little bit of blocks and shots.
Yeah. I think what is, and I guess the same thing could be said for Kent Johnson too, because that's another irrationally hot team right now, the Blue Jackets. I think Kent Johnson's center only, so I think I might take that trade. Like I might go for Fowler here. Just juice your defenseman.
I don't know. It seems just very lateral to me. I don't know. I don't feel like anyone necessarily wins or loses that one.
So
it's like if you need a defenseman, I'd say yeah.
But I think that's going to be the determining factor. So Circle saying that KJ is not able to cash in on how hot the Jackets are. So for me, just another reason to get it done. Because I think evens out. But
do we want to grab a couple questions from up in the chat earlier? Or?
Yeah. Something about a sock IPA. Remember that one? PT wants to know when I'm going to open my craft brewery that serves sock sweat IPAs? The answer to that one is whenever my socks are done fermenting and I can use them.
There we go. But yeah, let me go back up here. I know this one will make you cringe. Yeah. Rest of season. Faber or Burns? Burns, and it's not even close, but I don't really like either one of them.
Yeah, I think Burns is probably your best bet right now. A lot of insecurity with QB1 in Minnesota, and Burns is, you kind of know what he is. Just put your blinders on for the last few games where he has been seeing extended power play time, and then trend that out, and that's probably what you're going to get.
Yeah, Faber's hurt. I think it's like Declan Chisholm on power play 1 right now. But even then, they were throwing Spurgeon. They were throwing. I think that was the game where they had no power play time. Yeah, I think the Faber experiment's over for the moment.
We're cooling, at most. But yeah, I think this one is just like whatever fits your team makeup more. Like, rest of season Faber or Burns. First of all, bangs their points. And if it's bangs, then you're probably even more going Burns. He throws shots and he's adding a little bit of periffs, but yeah. Yep.
I think probably last one before we move on. Who's favorite mid to deep lead bangers for blocks and hits?
Oh boy. Well, Stephen Nason's been doing it. Kiefer Sherwood's not a secret anymore.
The Bash Brothers over in Anaheim. Yeah. I mean, that's probably mid. I don't know about deep.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. Sam Bennett's on my waiver wire. There he is. Will Cooley's still doing it. He's 27% rostered, and the Rangers, if it's one thing you can count on is that they're not going to have the puck and there's going to be time to do hits, but he's not like really blocking.
I don't know. I'm wondering if they're starting to wake up a little bit. Like Zibby's been scoring. It seems like maybe Shesterkin going down was the galvanizing force there.
So I'll throw a couple ugly names at you. Ian Cole is
okay.
He's worth some. 8% rostered out of Utah. He's hitting and blocking. Blocks I think are harder to come by than hits, and that's what he's doing the most of. 40 games, he's doing about 3 blocks a game, which is pretty stellar. Ranked number 1 on my waiver wire. And then guys like Alexiak, Nick Seeler, Brandon Carlo, Braden McNabb actually is a pretty even spread between hits and blocks. So
actually, no, I think some of those Vegas guys, I would say, look down their lineup.
Yep.
But cool. I guess with that, we'll actually get to the weekend preview. This is rough. Oh.
There's not much of anything, is there?
No. Yeah. No teams have Thursday, Friday, Sunday, or Friday, Sunday. So I just figured touch on these guys that are playing Friday and Sunday. Friday, just 2 games, Pittsburgh at Buffalo, and then Vegas at Carolina. There we go. Dorofeyev,
there he is,
14%. And then Wally's grab him while he's hot. Jordan Stahl, 22%.
Yeah, he threw an egg at me today because I did run him for today and just try to hold him into the week. Well, as far into the weekend as he'll take me, but didn't do anything today. But we'll see what happens in the next game. But I think he is probably like Carolina's super top heavy, so he's probably.
I'm actually surprised. Brian Rust only 47% owned.
That's insane. He's having like a 70-point season.
And then Jason Zucker, still I don't know. He's seems like he's doing really well in that power play 1, 28% owned.
He was my streamer pick of the week, and I'm pretty sure Maddie's winning so
far. Then Sunday, is it? No, there's no way it's only 1 game. Oh man,
there's a few. There's the Rangers at They're playing Montreal, Dallas,
there
Detroit,
we go, and Jersey, then Ottawa at Jersey.
Yeah,
there we go. I think the formatting just got messed up with your chart there. I don't know if I'd say Stephen Nason's back, 41% owned. There you go.
Yeah, and he's another one that I think I would throw into that Armin question with under the radar hits.
Is stumble into the occasional point. That New York Montreal game. I mean, maybe if Quickie starting, grab him. There really isn't much that isn't super owned on either of those teams. You got like Heedle 2%, Kirby Doc 4%. He's on the line with line A. Detroit
is technically under 50%, so 48% on Slavkovsky. Wow. Yeah, send it.
I thought he was still like 70 something.
Kirby Doc throws the body too. 70 hits this year.
There we go. So, and then that Detroit Dallas Dadonov. I'm surprised he's not more highly owned. Only 5% while he's on the line with Hinson, Robo. Simon Edmondson, someone kind of sneaky. I miss him on that pairing with Sider because I felt like he was better there. But get you some riffs and might stumble backwards into a point.
Stank just threw a couple goals in too, didn't he? So
there we go.
Maybe he's back. Yeah, 2 goals and an assist, and then 4 points in his last 2 games. So
I wish he had better line mates though. He's with their injuries, he's not playing with anyone.
All over.
Goalie streams on the back-to-backs. Friday, Saturday. You got Pittsburgh at Buffalo at Washington. I don't know if I want either one of those guys.
Yeah, that's a risky one.
I don't think you're getting either goalie because Hill's super owned. Samsonov 61%.
No luck there.
Yeah,
and then I think, I mean, you mentioned Quick, and New York is waking up, like you said, but they're going up against Columbus and Montreal, which on paper and without the last month in your memory, like that looks like a sweet thing to tee up on.
It does, but it's like it's hard to recommend that because they're on one. Montreal is on a heater too. They're in the picture.
Oh God, yeah, you're right. And Columbus the same way. Like those are 2 very tough offenses right now.
East is going to be super interesting the next couple months.
I guess maybe Jake Allen, right? Would that
there
be
we go.
Where you go? Yeah, Philly probably Ottawa.
Yeah, these are the Saturday, Sunday back-to-backs we're talking about, right?
Yeah, did I skip ahead?
Okay. No. I just making sure that's where we're at now. Jake Allen. Give me Jake Allen against either Philly or Ottawa.
Yeah, big fan of that. Ottawa's, we'll see if Maryland's out there. Maybe he's throwing shutouts left and right, but if it's Anton Forsberg, that's money.
And I mean, I don't know if Wedgwood gets the Colorado start. No, thank you. But against Detroit, and I think both of them are playing back-to-backs. So yeah, Scott Wedgwood or not Wedgwood, DeSmith. Casey DeSmith is the backup goalie.
Oh yeah,
man.
No, all the Woods are in Colorado right now. Blackwood, Wedgwood, Mileswood.
But next week prep, no Sunday Monday overlaps, unfortunately. Best schedules: Florida and Winnipeg. 4 games, 3 off nights.
And man, I hope Florida turns it around because
and there we go. Yeah, I think that's another
to do it.
Back to the Ekblad and Bennett and whoever questioned. Yeah, at least hold through next week. See what happens. The worst schedules. New Jersey has 2 games with 1 off night.
Yeah, so that's Stefan Nason and Jake Allen. Those are going to be short-lived, hopefully.
Oh yeah, and you can wait to pick them up. But I think that is going to do it for tonight. If we didn't get to your question, even tag us using @FHFH. We'll be back this weekend with start Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern, and then guys will be back with the Week 16 preview.
This week we're going to be doing something different. We're going to be doing first half, second half stuff, and kind of we're still going to hit the streamers for the week and do a little prep. But we want to talk about some of those guys like Nietzsche and Bennett and guys that McMichael who had a hot first half and what we think the second half is going.
Night, everyone.
Good night, guys. Love you.